Hello, everyone. My name is Munya. I'm a second year studying chemical engineering and I'm from Zimbabwe, but currently based in Edinburgh. And today I'm joined by Claire and Vivian. Would you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe we can start with Claire. Yeah.
Yeah, sure thing. Hi, my name is Claire. I'm a second year chemical engineering student as well. I'm originally from Malaysia, but I'm currently based in Edinburgh as well.
Um, Hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a second year chemical engineering student. I'm from Ghana, but I'm currently in Edinburgh.
Mm. Mm. Okay, it's so great to have you guys tonight. So you know how this year has been a very different year for everyone with the COVID stuff. And because it's been very different, we had to move to new learning methods at the university. And you know how we are involved in hybrid seminars and stuff. Um, it's a new thing to both students and the lecturers as well. And for me, I've been attending hybrid seminars here and there. My main reason is if I go to King's, right, I actually have the sense that I'm at school. And I think that really kind of motivates me to study because I have the sense that I'm actually at school. And that's been my main reason for going for hybrid seminars. I don't know how's been the experience for you guys. Have you been attending? And yeah, how's the experience for you? Maybe we can start with Vivian.
I've not been to a physical class yet, but that's mostly because I think I kind of enjoy studying from the comfort of my room. And sometimes when I calculate the time that it will take me to walk to Kings, walk back, have a class and walk back, and I'm like, okay, it will probably like take 2 hours for me to do all that. And if I'm learning from the house, it takes 1 hour for the class, and I use that 1 hour to do other stuff. I was kind of scared and hesitant in on learning online because I was like, maybe I'll lose motivation. But funny enough, deadlines are a good source of motivation. So those ones are enough to keep me on my toes, and I like I just enjoy logging in, having the session and logging out, and still being in a place to continue learning. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because when I attended, like some of my hybrid seminars had three people in attendance, and I'm feeling like most people have the same thoughts as you. And yeah, maybe we can hear from Claire. Um,
I totally have to agree with what Vivian says. I do agree that, especially for myself, where I'm staying, it's about an hour walk to King's and hours walk back. And even if we have, buses and things like that, you have to take into consideration waiting times for the bus, and then you have to line up into getting into the room and things like that. And I just feel that does not appeal to me. And I've always been intrigued with the term homeschooling, and I feel like I'm sort of doing homeschooling, but not really. And online studying for me, funnily enough, it's been a good way for me to keep busy, and I've enjoyed it this much because, like Vivian said, I think everyone's reason is more or less the same. You have your own time, you can plan what you do, and you sort of have the freedom to do when you want it, how you want to do it. And I think the best part about it is you can also just stay in your pajamas and do it, and you don't really have to worry, and you don't have to brace the cold because let's face it, Edinburgh's weather is not the best weather. So yeah, that's my reason for primarily doing everything online. I would love to go to a physical class, but also I'm a bit hesitant and worried about COVID and things like that. I know that everyone's trying their best to maintain, but it's prevention is better than cure. So that's my reason.
Thank you for sharing that. And for me, usually there's one really interesting part of lectures that I enjoy, getting help from them after the lecture. You know, how we just go to them and ask our questions, maybe like 5 minutes or so. And that's
Mhm.
another reason why I go for hybrid seminars. So I was wondering if you guys are staying at home, right? how are your lecturers supporting you since there isn't that physical interaction kind of thing? Yeah.
I would say that emailing has always been a primary source for me. I mean, I've been doing that since semester one, which was way before this whole pandemic happened. But I actually did attend a surgery hour, a surgery hour with one of my lecturers, and I was actually able to also have like a very private conversation with another lecturer because the workshop was the workshop is not something mandatory, so not many people arrived. So I felt that because I came for number one for the surgery hour, I was able to sort of like talk directly and say what is it that I need to do, what is it that I don't understand. And I feel like that is more or less the same as me going up to them after class, but it's just that the only difference is this time I'm more prepared. I know what I want to ask, and I log on, I ask, within 30 minutes, I'm out. So I don't have, I can do something else after that, or I can continue doing the work. And it's fun as well because even though you're not seeing the lecturer face to face, having that private conversation, it assures you that they're thinking of you as well and they're really there to help you. So I would say that surgery hours really help make things seem a little bit more novel. I mean, I've never really attended a surgery hour in semester one, but in semester two, having it just online, you just have to click a button and you're instantly connected to your lecturer without having to find their rooms and having to go here and there. It's so much easier. So that's one thing for me.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, hearing what you're saying, it makes me think that if the university, maybe next semester, if the university moves entirely to online learning, I think that would be really helpful. Because, yeah, I was talking to some friends as well, and they were saying they were feeling really confident to ask questions online because
Mm-hmm.
they won't judge you or anything. It's just like sending the question. So, yeah, maybe the uni will do that. And
Um,
maybe going to you, Vivian, you have something. Yeah.
yeah, I just want to say that I mean we've had surgery hours since first semester, first year, but when we had in-person classes, I mean, if you had a timetable where you had a class from 11 to 12 and another class from 1:10 to 2, you don't really get to talk to lecturers after the class. You just finish the class, move out because you have another lecture or like you have a place to be, and coming online where surgery hours are solely online, you have the opportunity to send an email, meet them on Teams and talk. And I just think also platforms like Piazza or the discussion boards for certain courses are also like a great place, not for only not only to ask your questions, but also I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you are doing something and you are so lost and you kind of don't want to ask the lecturer because you think it's a stupid question, but you go to the discussion board and someone asks it and you're like, okay, so I'm not the only person lost. And
Mm-hmm.
there's that sense of you just feel as if you are not lost, like you are not
Yeah.
alone. If you don't understand something, there's probably like five
Yeah.
other people who don't understand the same thing you don't understand. And in a classroom setting where you probably wouldn't walk up to the teacher to ask that, in a discussion board where you can post anonymously or add your name, you have like that freedom to do that, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really like that as well. I have to say that I've used the discussion board many times and I've used Piazza as well. And I think it's such a great way to just ask questions because sometimes you're doing something at like 12 midnight and you can't call a lecturer, you can't schedule it. The most you can do previously was you had to write it down and then you had to go see them. And although these boards existed before pre-COVID times, it wasn't really in use. And I feel like now as we enter into platform, you can see that everything is there. It's just that we've not been using it. And it's great to see that everyone is sort of just posting and regardless of how stupid the question might be, it it gives me comfort to know that I'm not the only one struggling as well, because as we all know, engineering is not the easiest subject. So when you see someone post a question that is more or less probably something that's very minute, something that's very like, oh, I get it. Why didn't she get it? It gives you the confidence, like, okay, yeah, I can ask this kind of question. I shouldn't be afraid to be judged because at the end of the day, there's gonna be at least one other person who don't get it. doesn't get it as well. So I just have to say that it's a great thing that Piazza discussion boards exist and that we're using it, especially now, rather than just, probably if we were still in this COVID time, but we didn't have this discussion board, we would have to like line up and like email and set a time, which would be a burden for lecturers as well, as they have other work to do, and for us because we can't spend all day waiting for them to just open up a session for us. So the discussion boards and the piazza are such a great way to help us support our studies and things like that.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And it looks like online learning is more convenient in terms of finding help from lecturers, the open support from lecturers. And I was just looking at the statistics for COVID, and it looks like maybe we are going to have online learning for a while, maybe next semester, or yeah, the next 2 semesters will be online as well. Do you think there's anything else, maybe in conclusion, anything else that the uni can do to support us? From what you're saying, I think you're finding it quite all right and you have the resources, but do you think there's anything else maybe that the uni can do? Yeah.
I would have to say, specifically in terms of what the uni can do to provide support, um, I wouldn't say there's much because right now all of us are still trying to pave our ways. I think something that the uni could do is just be clear and like try to have a solid say on what's happening and what's not happening. And besides having, places and things like that, the uni should also try into having like how can we have social events online, and like how can we get students to meet each other, and how can we have socials and things like that, but do it online. I think that is something that the uni should look into, because the social aspect of university is the one thing that's missing out in my point of view. Like everything else is all right, everything else is fine. Like for the courses, I think that is up to the school, the individual school, to see how can they improve that. Maybe have a better timeline, or maybe make sure every course has a course calendar so that students can follow it. But in terms of the uni, is generally it has to be the social events, because I think something that I'm missing out on is freshers fair and going into online socials and things like that. I think that's something that the uni can look more into, and especially supporting us students, as we need that as an outlet for us to, after a long day of schooling, that's something that we want to look forward to. So I think for me it would be the social aspect of university. How about you, Vivian?
Let's see. So in terms of what a uni could do to help, I just, first of all, I get that is new for everyone. It's new for the lecturers, it's new for the heads of departments, it's new for the heads of schools, it's new for the students. And I think sometimes it's just a little bit concerning when you don't get any information about certain stuff. And I know they do send us emails, kind of keep trying to keep up to date, but some emails are really long, but they don't really answer the questions that the students are asking. So I think one thing they could probably do to help the students is try to probably send a say, what are your questions, what do you want answers to, instead of sometimes sending us like general information on what is happening, because sometimes you can receive like 5 emails and they are all basically saying the same thing, but there was this one question that you really need an answer to, and none of the emails are addressing it. So if they could probably like ask what are we concerned about, what are the questions we have, and try to address those questions in the emails, that would be great. But apart from that, I think in the context of the fact that no one expected COVID, no one saw it coming, and the school had to come up with methods and ways to keep the students in school and maintain the quality of education, and still kind of give us a sense of a social life, as Claire was saying, which is kind of a little bit lost unless like you are in societies. And even with that, it's still basically online. So apart from the social aspect of uni, when it comes to the academics, I think they're doing the best they can. And any other thing will come down to like the courses, what is happening, like the courses. But like the school in whole, I think they are doing an amazing job, given the fact that they didn't see it coming and they had like a short time to prepare for such a crisis. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. And yeah, I totally agree with you guys, especially in terms of the social aspect. I remember I attended an online pub quiz for my society, and of course it was great, but it didn't feel the same. So I think that social aspect is not there. But anyways, it was great talking to you guys.
You're
wish
so great. Thanks.
the best.
Okay.
The remaining parts of the semester. Yeah.
I look forward to talking to you guys again soon, hopefully online.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, definitely.